Right. Last Monday was World Alzheimer's Day, which you will know if you were listening to this programme. And here in the afternoon show, we heard about Take Me With You, a short film set in a care home made by Rain Dog Films in collaboration with the Dementia Services Development Trust. Well, we continued dementia awareness all week across the station. And today we really wanted to tell you about a groundbreaking centre in the middle of Angus. Kirrie Connections is a dementia-friendly community hub that offers help, support and advice to local people living with dementia and their families and carers. Well, let's find out more. I'm delighted to welcome Chris, who uses the services, and top singer and folklorist Christine Kidd, who runs some of the projects. A very warm welcome to both of you, and I'll come to Christine Kidd first of all. Tell me when and how you first got involved with Kirrie Connections.
Hi there, Janice. Just a few years ago, about 3-4 years ago, basically I was just walking along the main street in Kirriemuir, and I was hauled into the Kirrie Connections space by Maureen Crosby, the artist. She said, "Come in and see what I'm doing. I'm interviewing this really interesting person for an art project." And so as I was sitting watching this happen, I asked his permission, could I take some notes? And he said that was absolutely fine. So we ended up, she used the interview for her artwork, and then I wrote a song for him based on his life story. So that's kind of how I got involved, and met Graham Galloway, the CEO. I sent him the song and he said, "Oh, come in for a chat. Let's see what we can do."
And that's the thing, isn't it? It's so important. I think more and more people are aware of that, just how valuable music can be for people with dementia, just in activating memories. It's an incredible connection, isn't it, Christine?
It is, yes. And I'm at what I've ended up doing with Kirrie Connections is running. At the moment it's a Zoom singing session, but the project that I'm doing more of is a project called Orlang, which means all year round. And it's based on a model that I was involved in as part of a team that came out of the Scottish Storytelling Centre and the Poetry Library, Scottish Poetry Library. And a team of 10 of us were asked to pilot an idea, which we then took for 18 months and piloted in 3 areas in Scotland, looking at a model of using songs and stories and poetry, images, artifacts, objects, and then we all added plant in, and it was a way of curating a conversation, of stimulating a conversation with people who were mostly living in care homes, but certainly in care settings.
Yeah. Well, let me turn to Chris. Hi, Chris. How are you?
Hi, I'm good, thank you.
Oh, it's really good really good. And do you know what? I'm just looking at a list of everything that you do, and I can't believe it. Are there enough days in the week to do all this? But you are really getting a lot out of Kirrie Connections, taking part in all sorts of things. And the music side of things, I think you enjoy particularly, don't you?
Sorry, darling, can you repeat that?
Yeah, the music side of things. I think we heard Christine talking about Orlang and Kirrie singing, and you take part in both of those, don't you?
I certainly do. It's always nice.
Oh, yeah. And I was looking at Kirrie singing, which I think happens on Fridays, Chris.
Yes,
So last Friday, you were all singing Edelweiss. Can you explain to us why that's such an important song to you, Chris?
Yes, I can indeed. It was because I walked down to that for my wedding day.
Oh.
And it's one that always sticks in my mind.
Oh,
and it
amazing.
Was like, oh my gosh. It's also one of my favourite films, is The Sound of Music.
Oh, me
so that's
too.
How it come about.
Isn't it? It's one of those films. Doesn't matter how long you see it, how many times you see it, it's still blooming good. Christine, what were you saying there?
Oh, sorry for interrupting. Well, it's just that when we were meeting together at the centre, what we used to do was Chris used to go out for her bus a little bit early. And so we also used to sing the So Long Farewell song every week for Chris, as she kind of You remember this, Chris? You kind of like flounced out of the building beautifully. We always had a good laugh, and I think it made a dramatic exit for her bus.
But that song Edelweiss, that must bring back so many memories, as you say, walking down the aisle on your wedding day. But also, yes. I believe you and your husband, your lovely husband, used to go on cruises, and you would sing to the passengers. Is that right?
Yes, that's right. It was always something to give back to the people who had become friends and everything on the sailboats, and managed to cheer them up as well as we went along.
Yeah. And tell me about, I've not been to the hub, tell us about it, your feelings as you go in there. Is it a nice, friendly, welcoming place to go to, Chris?
It's a beautiful, beautiful place. It's so safe. You feel like almost being at home. And there is so many lovely staff and volunteers who treat you so well. And they're always there to lend a hand should they need it. And there's always a cup of tea and a biscuit. Which is important, Chris, let's face it. It is.
It's really important, especially as we're getting into the colder months. Christine, how would you describe the atmosphere in the place? I'm just wondering what it's been like in this difficult period that we've all been living through.
Ooh.
It's well, for me.
Oh, sorry, I'm talking to Christine. Chris, it's too many Chrissies here. So Christine, and then I'll come back to you, Chris.
No problem.
It's a great atmosphere in the place. It's run. It is a groundbreaking project, and it's run by a core team, a small core team of 3 people and volunteers. Graham Galloway is the CEO. He's a really clever guy. Gets a lot of the funding together. He's wonderful at making sure the place is running well. And then his staff, Gail and Evelyn, do a fantastic job. Everybody really is multitasking a lot of the time. Mm-hmm. But they hold the whole thing together in a core, and it's the ethos behind the model is that it's for the members, and the members are actually people who are living with dementia, unpaid family carers and other carers, and also any of the staff and any of the freelancers that work there. So it's a very kind of democratic situation, and it's just a lovely, lovely project to be involved in. And I think partly the thing with Orlang, which we wanted to pilot, was looking at the conversation so that actually we all learn things from each other, and it's the R.S. MacDonald Trust that they've put their trust in us, and they're funding us for an initial year and then a 3-year pilot year. An initial year of pilot and then 3 years moving forward. So we're really excited about that, and the whole centre that Graham has brought together in a really, really clever way is also highly supported by the Life Changes Trust as well. And it is a model that's come over from the Netherlands and has been evidenced for about 20 odd years now. It really is a joy and a delight to work, and I'd like to feel that we're all friends, everyone who's there, as well as having professional roles and all the different roles that we have. But we all learn from each other.
Indeed. And coming back to you, Chris, we were hearing earlier on, Christine was talking about you flouncing out to the song from So Long Farewell, from The Sound of Music. So you used to get the bus to Kirrie Connections by yourself, but now obviously everything's changed and you're having to do everything via Zoom and phone.
Yeah.
So what's that been like for you, Chris?
It's been a scary but a very challenging way of communicating to the people who are there. And it's always been a pleasure. Throughout the week, I have so many things to do. I've got everything from a needle to an anchor to do. And that is very, very supported. I like to support the other people who are like me, that have dementia. And this is one part of it that happens every week. They are always there for each other.
That's
matter.
Fantastic.
It really is great. It's a super way to keep communicating and learning different things and, being so busy. I'm actually making a blanket at the moment.
You're multitasking. That's true, because as well as the music, we were saying, because as the craft group, you'd be doing needle felting and making pandas and bears and Highland cows and all the rest of it, and a raffia corn doll. I'm amazed, but that is just wonderful. And I'll just go back to Christine now, just exactly what both of you have been saying there, Chris and Christine. It's Christine, it's like there's not there aren't clear delineations between the different people involved. Everyone is really helping everyone else. And I should say, remembering the old days when we could be back at awards ceremonies, I was really thrilled to award Kirrie Connections with an award at the Epic Awards for the Voluntary Arts in Edinburgh last year, which was such a great night. Extremely well deserved.
And such an accolade as a UK-wide award, wasn't it, for
Indeed.
The work and everything? Yeah, I'd just like to kind of add something about that a big part of the Orline project is also the bringing together of the living voices model that I was talking about, but then adding in Maureen Crosby's work as an artist. And so some of the art that Chrissy and others get into is an art pack that we send out every week. So we engage with everybody once a week with Orlang. It's either myself and a worker, Gaylor Evelyn or Maureen. So they have myself and Maureen week about, and we're always all supported by the centre in doing that. We do poetry, reading, and then art making. So, I mean, we still have managed to make a model that works in COVID times that we think we can take forward and that other places could take forward in the future, as well as being in a cosy space with other people. So it's really, really exciting work. Well, you can tell.
I can tell from the pair of you. Well, look, Christine Kidd, thank you very much. And Chris, very special thanks to you for coming on live radio and talking so brilliantly about the place and what you get out of it. Really lovely to meet you over the airwaves, Chris.
Oh, thank you so much. I do appreciate it. Thank you.
Not at all. Thank you both very much indeed. Chris and Christine Kidd there. So we've been talking about the fab activities at Kirrie Connections run by the dementia-friendly Kirriemuir project. Incidentally, Christine Kidd's CD Shift and Change was launched last year to great acclaim on the Green Tracks label alongside the likes of Barbara Dixon, Dick Gaughan. There's a link on the afternoon show programme page to that. We've also put a link there to BBC Music Memories, which helps you create a playlist of music that may help folk living with dementia reconnect with their most powerful memories via music.